Nearly 100,000 people filled an American football stadium in Glendale, Arizona on Sunday to mourn the death of conservative influencer and Donald Trump ally Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot in the neck at Utah Valley University while he was conducting a campus tour on the 10th of September. He died approximately 2 hours later. A 22-year-old Utah resident, Tyler Robinson, has since been charged with aggravated murder over Kirk's assassination. The lavish memorial service had fireworks, a red carpet, Christian rock music, and plenty of prompts to buy merch from Kirk's conservative advocacy organisation, Turning Point USA. The 5-hour service blended the aesthetics of the WWE with the vibes of an evangelical megachurch. A White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, gave a speech. His speech, if you can call it that, was more a call to arms.
Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
Complete psychopath, right? Complete psychopath. By the way, this is a memorial service for a Christian person. We'll see the comments of his wife, Erica Kirk, a little bit later on. And whatever you think of them, in my view, completely embodying the best parts of the gospel. Now, some people are going to think it's performative, whatever, but she says something which is completely different to what you just saw there. The idea that somebody's died, he was murdered, there's a memorial service, and you talk about how evil, not the person who's done it is, but just a broad group of people in terms of a wider political statement. The idea you would do that is just utterly disgusting. I think it's utterly disgusting. We're good and noble. They're evil. So, and look, we live in a secular society, in a secular age. I'm a Catholic. So unchristian. It is so unchristian to say that. We're the good, virtuous people. They're the evil, bad people. No, we're all sinners, mate. We are all sinners. The whole point of the gospel is we are all sinners. Repent, forgive, repent, forgive. Which, by the way, as we'll see in a moment, was a sentiment actually made by the wife of Charlie Kirk. But I can't think of a more different sentiment to that than what we just saw there. We are the ones that create, we're the good people, they're the bad people, they're the evil, they're the detritus. You look at the gospel, in the kingdom of heaven, the last shall be first. Think about the story of the return of the prodigal son, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. The sort of quote-unquote dregs of society being those who are infused with the most, moral value. With Jesus being at odds with the Pharisees, which was raised by Tucker Carlson. We're not going to go to that speech, basically a dig at Mossad. Bit weird. But the point was he was at odds with the quote-unquote official religious authorities of his time, right? People like Stephen Miller, people with power. He was against people with power. A guest of honor, President Donald Trump didn't hesitate to lift up humanity by making the event about his administration's policies. And no, not just with his bizarre autism announcement. He also said this.
Just like Charlie and Erica made Turning Point hot, we are looking at a country that has the chance to attain a level like never before. Tariffs are making us rich again, richer than anybody ever thought was possible. And the only one challenging them are people that hate our country or foreign countries that are paying a price, because they did the same thing to us for years. They took advantage of us, but we're making money. We're becoming richer and richer, and we're taking care of our people better and better when we do that. And we can take care of other countries better and better, but we're doing unbelievably well. The tariffs have really been a hold. The election was big, but the tariffs, because of the election, came in. And remember, other nations do that to us. And Charlie understood that. He saw the money. He saw what was coming into our country, and we can use that for Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security.
This is a memorial service for a dude that was shot in the neck, and he's talking about tariffs and how the United States is getting richer. Look, I know he's the president. I get it. You can take a bit of time off from campaigning. Perhaps the most interesting part of the memorial was this moment from Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica. Here's her speech.
That man, that young man, I forgive him. I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us. The world needs Turning Point USA. It needs a group that will point young people away from the path of misery and sin.
Some people in the comments saying, Hollywood, give her an Oscar, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea what's going on in her head, right? Nor do you. Now, clearly it's theatrical, right? You've got 100,000 people. Of course it's theatrical. It's the memorial service of a very famous person involved in public life who's died. This is a rally. I get it. That doesn't mean she doesn't mean what she's saying. More importantly, when she says, I forgive because that's what it says in the gospel, I mean, she's right, okay? She's right. And also, this is the important part politically, it stands in complete contrast to what Stephen Miller was saying, right? I'm the goodie, you're the baddie, disagree with me, you're evil. That is not what any religion says, actually. Any sort of monotheistic religion says. We're all sinners. Anyway, you guessed it. President Trump appeared to disagree.
In that private moment on his dying day, we find everything we need to know about who Charlie Kirk truly was. He was a missionary with a noble spirit and a great, great purpose. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent.
This woman's husband died. She said, I forgive. And he's like, I'm sorry, Erica. I don't, it's quite funny. Harriet, there was a bit of a critical response online to what Erica Kirk said. What do you make of that?
Aaron, Erica Kirk's husband has just been killed. And the President of the United States has not only hijacked his memorial rally to talk about policies and how he's going to be able to cure autism and how great his tariffs are and how all the money is rolling into the US, he's also telling her that she should try and convince him not to be so hateful of his enemies. Honestly, it's bizarre. It's bizarre to watch. It was really weird watching those clips. It was weird writing the story. And it's also entirely in keeping with this sort of mega church aesthetic that goes on the Christian right in the US. And the Christian right fully embraced Donald Trump. Like, they welcomed him with open arms. This is a man whose lifetime of actions is as far away from New Testament teachings as humanly possible. And yet the Christian right was like, that's our guy. And in megachurches in America, they tell you how to vote. They don't just say, these are our principles, this is, we might quite like this guy. No, they tell you who to cast your ballot for. And it better be for Donald Trump, and it better be for Republicans. Back to Erica, I mean, I don't want to speculate on how she feels or what's going on in her head. It did feel performative, I'm not going to lie. And this is somebody who, their words don't always align with their actions. Erica Kirk is somebody who apparently makes her husband Charlie look quite moderate in his views, and he absolutely was not. She's got a net worth of about $2 million by herself. It will go up to $14 million once she has Charlie's, when we add on Charlie Kirk's estate. She's someone who said that the role of women is to be a wife and a mother, but not for her, because she has a number of degrees, including postgraduate ones. She's got a clothing company. She's got a real estate profits coming in. She has a podcast. Like, she has multiple jobs. She's also now the CEO of Kirk's Turning Point USA. Like, this is very much a case of do as I say, not as I do. So if, she's saying, I forgive Charlie Kirk's shooter, she may forgive him, she may not. We can't say either way. But I find Erica Kirk quite disingenuous generally in the way that she presents herself. And I also feel like, thanks to excessive legacy media coverage of Kirk, we also know far too much about these people now in the UK than we did maybe a week or so ago. Even though, having said that, I do have to admit that they are becoming incredibly politically important, and his assassination is obviously a real key to what's happening in America right now and the way this country is constructed. Trump's words could not have been more divisive or more hateful at that memorial rally. He said it was the left that does violence. We don't know that the person who is accused and charged with the aggravated murder of Charlie Kirk, was a leftist. He's actually more likely to have been some sort of extreme underground right-wing offshoot who thought that Charlie Kirk didn't go far enough. Like, that's perfectly possible. It's even likely. We do not know. And yet Trump has used this, and you heard the deputy White House secretary before him say that this is about the goodness of one group of people against the badness and evil of another. I mean, we're so far from like the original tenets of Christianity here that we are on a different planet.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few points you've said, which is it important? Look, we're in the UK, we're not in the United States. Sadly, though, because of digital media, the two political spheres are kind of fusing, which I think is a shame, right? And people like Charlie Kirk, because you can watch YouTube just as easily in the UK as the United States, or TikTok just as easily as the United States, has become something of a figure, nowhere near like he is in the US, but something of a significant political figure here in Britain as well. Some of the numbers, reported numbers, around the live stream as well, are pretty incredible. Turning Point USA claims over 100 million views on the live stream. Fox News YouTube live stream had about 2.2 million live video views. I mean, it's wild. We could get a more detailed picture of it, but I think also Candace Owens was streaming it as well. This was very much an internet first phenomenon, and huge, huge numbers, in a way that it doesn't really happen anymore with regards to linear TV. Huge, huge numbers. And look, you've got a political rally, a memorial of a guy that has the president, senior people in the White House like Stephen Miller, Musk is there, the great and the good of the kind of MAGA sphere were there. And I do think it's a very significant political moment. There's one comment from John Moore, our great guy, John Moore, over on YouTube, saying that Erica Kirk would be look out for her running as VP with JD Vance next time round, if Trump doesn't stand, of course. And I think that's a really good shout. I think that's a really, really, really good shout. This is now the Republican Party. I mean, that is extraordinary, right? It was up for debate until last year, even, that Planet Trump, the MAGAsphere, was really going to take control of the Republican movement, the Republican establishment. I mean, my goodness, they have. Where are the other guys, right? Where are the Bushes? Where's Mitt Romney, right? They're gone. This is now the Republican Party. They have their own media, their own personalities, their own infrastructure. Quite extraordinary. And you'd be very mistaken if you didn't think the right in this country wanted to create something play for play, which is exactly the same.